English 4, Quarter 3, Week 5. Matatag Curriculum. For the competencies and objectives, comprehend informational text. Note important information through outlining. Topic, main idea, supporting details. Inductive organization pyramid. Glean the writer's purpose: to recount, to entertain, to inform, explain, or describe. Identify text types according to the method of development and organizational structure. Time order, chronology, time order, procedural. Draw conclusions and inferences from the text. Distinguish fact from opinion, statements of facts, opinions, and fact-based statements of opinion. Produce a summary of a given text. Express ideas appropriately, age-appropriate, gender-responsive, culture-sensitive, for one's purpose, context, and target audience. Recount or narrate an event or experience or describe a process in relation to a given theme. For the content, understanding informational text. Historical, narrative, time order, chronological, comprehension and noting details, topic, main idea, purpose, supporting details. Determining textual structure and method of development. Inductive pyramid. Distinguishing fact from opinion. Drawing conclusions and inferences. And summarizing the text. For the integration, we have cultural identity and patriotism. For the review, in the space before each number, draw a heart if the given statement is true and a circle if it is false. Number 1. Informational texts contain factual information about a topic. Poems and short stories are examples of informational text. Brochures are examples of nonlinear informational text. Friendly letters can also be considered as informational text. Literary texts are creative, while informational texts are factual in nature. Descriptive, enumerative essays are informative, rather than literary in nature. Informational texts have main ideas and supporting details. An infographic poster is an example of a linear informational text. Brochures and infographic use pictures and illustrations to show or support facts. A descriptive, enumerative essays and friendly letters are linear text types. For the lesson purpose, look at the pictures, then answer the following questions. What do you see in the picture? What do you think is happening? Where do you think this event took place? Who do you think were the people involved? Are historical accounts or narratives considered informational text? If yes, why do you think this is so? To help us answer this question, we will read about a significant event in Philippine history. For the unlocking content vocabulary, it is good for 10 minutes. Read each sentence and determine the meaning of the underlined word. Then circle the letter of your answer from the given choices. Number 1. The weather today is contrary to what the forecast predicted. It is sunny instead of rainy. 2. The actual number of students in the classroom is 25, not 30 as mentioned earlier. A. Imaginary, B. Real, C. Large, D. Colorful. Next, after a long day of fishing, Mang Jose and other fishers settled near the shore and ate boiled purple yam for snacks. A. Climbed, B. Jumped, C. Ducked, D. Floated. Invading the enemy's territory, the army bravely marched towards the walled city. A. Protecting, B. Taking over, C. Destroying, D. Coming in. Number 5. The group of scientists embark on a thrilling expedition to study rare plants in the Amazon rainforest. A. Argument, B. Journey, C. Discovery, D. Speed. Number 6. The keen-eyed zookeeper spotted the missing deer trapped in the bushes near the river and immediately rescued it. A. Saw, B. Ignored, C. Covered, D. Cold. Number 7. The cabin crew of the plane made sure that the passengers were safe during the whole flight. They worked together to take care of the passengers. A. Captain, B. Team, C. Waiter, D. Server. Number 8. The tourist approached the tour guide and asked her for a map. A. Came near, B. Stayed away, C. Jumped off, D. Ran along. Number 9. The young girl showed great courtesy by holding the door open for the elderly lady. A. Rudeness, B. Shyness, C. Anger, D. Kindness. For number 10, the fruit vendor displayed a variety of figs at his stall in the market. Figs have a similar taste to strawberry. A. A kind of leaf, B. A kind of fruit, C. A kind of bread, D. A kind of flower. Let's discuss about informational text: historical, narrative, time order, chronological. Instructions: read the historical text on Magellan's arrival in Homonhon. Be guided by the following guide questions as you respond to the succeeding activity. What is the narrative about? What do you think is the purpose of the writer? What specific details does the writer share in this article? How are the details organized? Let us now read the article. Ferdinand Magellan was a Portuguese explorer who set sail from Spain with his crew in August 1519 to find a new westward route to a faraway land called Moluccas or Spice Island. They hope to find all kinds of spices there, like cloves, nutmeg, and cinnamon. After crossing the peaceful Pacific Ocean, Magellan's expedition discovered the Philippines, when they spotted the tallest mountain peak on Samar Island on March 16, 1521. They first landed and rested on the deserted island of Homonhon before going to the nearby island of Limasawa, which was led by its chief named Raha Kolambu. Raha Kolambu and his people warmly and gladly welcomed Magellan and his crew upon their arrival in Limasawa. To repay the chiefs and the natives' hospitality, Magellan gave the natives mirrors, bells, red cups, combs, and ivory. The Spaniards also gave Raha Kolambu some fish, a jar of palm wine called uruka or alak, and figs that were more than 1 palm long. In return, the natives offered them fish, wine, and bananas, which the Spaniards thought were figs. The natives also promised to return within a few days to bring the Spaniards some umay or rice, coconuts, and many other food. This account, therefore, tells us that Magellan's arrival in Limasawa was received with kindness and hospitality by the Filipino natives. In fact, their first encounter led to friendship between the Spaniards and the native Filipinos of Limasawa, who eventually became the first Filipino Christians. For Activity 1, let's now answer the guide questions presented earlier. What is the narrative about? You're right. The narrative is about Ferdinand Magellan's arrival in the Philippines, particularly in Limasawa, and his interaction with the native Filipinos. What do you think is the purpose of the writer? Very good. The purpose of the writer is to describe Magellan's arrival in the Philippines and the friendly relationship that developed between the Spaniards and the Filipino natives. What specific details does the writer share in this article? You're right. The writer shares details about Magellan's journey, the discovery of the Philippines, the warm welcome by the natives of Limasawa, and the exchange of gifts. How are the details organized? You're right. The details are organized chronologically, starting with Magellan's journey and ending with the encounter with the natives. Complete the table by answering the questions. For Day 2. Directions for the narrative pyramid. Fill out the narrative pyramid with the information asked. Boxes beside the pyramid may be used as extra space for writing. List down the names or names of the people the text talks about. For number 2, write down 2 characteristics of each of these people that the text talks about. 3. Describe the setting in 3 words. 4. Write down 4 important events that happened. 5. Write down the main idea of the writer. Let us now answer. For number 1, Ferdinand Magellan, Raha Kolambu, and the native Filipinos of Limasawa. Number 2, Ferdinand Magellan, explorer, leader of the expedition. Raha Colambu, leader of Limasawa, welcoming. The native Filipinos of Limasawa, hospitable and friendly. Number 3, peaceful, tropical, island. Number 4, Magellan set sail from Spain in August 1519. Magellan's crew crossed the Pacific Ocean and discovered the Philippines on March 16, 1521. They first landed on Homonhon Island and then reached Limasawa. Raha Colambu and the people of Limasawa welcomed Magellan and his crew. The writer emphasizes the peaceful and friendly arrival of Magellan and his crew in the Philippines, highlighting the warm reception by the natives of Limasawa. Directions for the narrative timeline. Present in a chronological manner the 4 important events you identified earlier in the narrative pyramid. You may refer to the sample timeline in coming up with your own narrative timeline. Here is the example of Magellan arrives in Homonhon timeline. Write the summary of the major events following Magellan's arrival in the island of Homonhon. During 1959, March 16, 1521 first event, March 16, 1521 second event, and the following day. Here is another sample of timeline. For day 3, instruction, determine whether each statement is true or false. Magellan's expedition started in August 1519. Is it true or false? You're right, it is true. Next, the mountain peak that Magellan's expedition spotted was in summer. Very good, it is true. Raha Colambu's men gladly welcomed Magellan's and his crew. You're right, it is true. The kindness of the natives to the Spaniards showcased the Filipino hospitality. You're right, it is true. Magellan's crew could have been hurt by the natives if they were not careful with their words and actions. Very good, it is false. The text does not mention any danger of harm from the natives. Read each statement below. Write yes if the statement can be inferred from the text and no if it cannot be inferred from the text. Number 1, Magellan may have been pleased with the kindness and hospitality of the natives. 2, the natives of Homonhon were perhaps happy to receive gifts from Magellan on their first meeting. Number 3, the mountain peak that Magellan spotted on the island of Samar could be the highest peak in the Visayas. Number 4, Antonio Pigafetta was the oldest among the crew members of Magellan's expedition. Number 5, the natives of Limasawa were not able to bring umay or rice for Magellan and his crew the following day, as they had promised. Here are the correct answers. For number 1, yes. 2. Yes. 3. No. 4. No. And number 5. No. What other conclusions can you make based on the text that you read? For day 4, read the text below and answer the questions that follow. Take a look at the illustration first. On a fateful morning in 1521, two powerful men fought in a battle on the shores of Mactan. Magellan, the brave explorer with his metal-clad warriors, and Lapu-Lapu, the island chief with his fierce spearmen. Magellan, backed by another Filipino chieftain from Cebu named Raha Humabon, demanded that Lapu-Lapu should kneel to Spain. Lapu-Lapu fiercely refused. Magellan and his men had guns and swords, but the shallow reef near Mactan made it difficult for them to use their weapons. Meanwhile, because Lapu-Lapu and his men knew their land and sea well, they easily and skillfully zipped between rocks and coral. They shot arrows and hurled spears, aiming for the gaps in Magellan's armor, especially his legs. Magellan tried to scare Lapu-Lapu by burning down the houses of the natives, but this only made the Lapu-Lapu and the islanders angrier. During battle, Magellan was hit by a poisoned arrow in the leg, and before he could even draw his sword, Lapu-Lapu's warriors struck him down. Though short, the battle was huge. It showed that even powerful armies could be beaten by brave fighters who knew and loved their land. Lapu-Lapu became a hero, a symbol of courage to fight for freedom, and a reminder that courage can defeat even the mightiest foe. For the assessment, circle the letter that corresponds to your answer. What type of informational text did you just read? A. Narrative. B. Procedural. C. Enumerative. D. Descriptive. Number 2. Who did Magellan demand to kneel to Spain? A. Raha Humabon. B. Datu Zula. C. Lapu-Lapu. D. Pigafetta. Number 3. What advantage did Lapu-Lapu's men have over Magellan's troops? A. More soldiers. B. Better weapons. C. Knowledge of the land. D. Stronger armor. Number 4. What did Magellan do in an attempt to scare Lapu-Lapu? A. He fired his cannons. B. He challenged him to a duel. C. He offered him gifts. D. He burned houses. How did Lapu-Lapu's warriors manage to endure Magellan? A. They shot him with cannons. B. They attacked him with swords. C. They aimed for his unarmored legs. D. They tricked him into a trap. What is the main lesson the author tries to convey about the battle? A. The importance of using advanced weaponry. B. The dangers of exploring new lands. C. The power of courage and knowledge of the land. D. The inevitability of war between different cultures. Here are the correct answers. For number 1, A, 2, C, number 3, C, number 4, D, number 5, C, and number 6, C. Assessment. On the blank provided, write F if the statement is a fact and O if it is an opinion, based on the text. Number 1. Magellan burned down the houses of the natives to scare Lapu-Lapu. 2. Magellan and his men were not able to use their weapons well because they had difficulty fighting on the rocky shore of Mactan. Number 3. If Magellan did not burn down the houses of the natives, he could have become friends with Lapu-Lapu and the natives of Mactan. It was only right for Lapu-Lapu to not bow. It was only right for Lapu-Lapu to not bow to Spain. It was only right for Lapu-Lapu to not bow to Spain and agree to be under its power. Raha Humabon became friends with the Magellan and supported him when he went to sea to Lapu-Lapu. Here are the correct answers. For number 1, F, 2, F, 3, O, 4, O, and number 5 is F. Drawing conclusions and inferences. Read each question and circle the letter that corresponds to your answer. Why do you think Lapu-Lapu refused to kneel to Spain? A. He feared Magellan's weapons. B. He wanted to protect his land and independence. C. He disagreed with Raha Humabon's alliance. D. He believed bowing to Spain would weaken his power. Based on the text, what can you infer about the relationship between Lapu-Lapu and Raha Humabon? A. They were close allies and friends. B. They had a tense and competitive relationship. C. Raha Humabon acted as a mediator between Lapu-Lapu and Spain. D. Lapu-Lapu's refusal to kneel caused a rift between them. Number 3. Given the description of the battle, what do you think Lapu-Lapu's warriors were most likely feeling during the fight? A. Fear and uncertainty about facing armed intruders. B. Anger and determination to defend their homeland. C. Confusion and surprise at Magellan's unexpected attack. D. Overconfidence and underestimation of the Spanish threat. Here are the correct answers. For number 1, B, number 2, D, and number 3 is letter B.